Hello students, so we'll continue chapter polynomials, and in polynomials we were studying about the factorization. So now today we'll see one more method of doing the factorization, that is factorization as the sum and difference of two cubes. So this is the another method of doing the factorization of the sum and difference of the cubes. As we have studied the identity of cubes, that is a plus b whole cube and a minus b whole cube, and apart from this a cube plus b cube and a cube minus b cube. So a cube plus b cube is a plus b into a square minus ab plus b square, and a cube minus b cube is equal to a minus b into a square plus ab plus b square. So today we'll see the how to do the factorization by using these identities. So we'll see first example, that is a cube plus 64. Now if you see at this example, this question is actually in the form of a cube plus b cube. Here it is a cube and plus 64 means 4 cube. So it's actually in the form of a cube plus b cube, and therefore it can be written as a plus b, that is a plus 4 into a square minus ab, that is minus 4a, and plus b square, that is 4 square, it means 16. So this is the normal simple method of doing the factorization by using the identity. And as you can see here directly in the question, that this question directly in the form of a cube plus b cube. So it is easier to do the factorization here. Now we'll see the next example. The next example given as 54 a cube plus 250 b cube. Now if you see in this example, this 54 a cube, it is not actually in the form of perfect cube, because 54 is not the cube of any natural number, and in the same way 250 is not the cube of any natural number, but b cube and a cube are the perfect cube. So we cannot do the factorization until we know that whether, until we cannot convert it into the form of perfect cube. So what we need to do is, if we take 2 common from both these terms, it will become 27 a cube plus 125 b cube, and this will be equal to, now if you see here 27 a cube plus 125 b cube, this 27 a cube now is actually in the form of perfect cube, that is this 27 a cube is actually the cube of 3a whole cube. In the same way, plus 125 is actually the cube of 5, so it will become 5b whole cube. And now we have converted into the form of a cube plus b cube. Now we can use the identity, that is 2 into a cube plus b cube is a plus b, that is 3a plus 5b into a square, that is 3a whole square, so it will become 9a square minus ab. Minus ab means minus 3a into 5b, that is 15ab, and plus b square, that is 5b square, so it will become 25b square. So in this way we need to do the use the identity, and before using the identity we actually have to convert it into that form. So accordingly, then only we can use the identity and do the factorization. Now we'll see one more example is p raised to the power 6 minus 512 into q raised to the power 6. Now this actually, now if you can see here, this again is actually in the form of a cube minus b cube. Now it is actually in the form of a cube minus b cube, but we have to write it actually in the form of perfect cube. So we can write it as p square whole cube minus 512 cube 6. So it will become 8 q square whole cube. So because 512 is actually the cube of 8. So and we have written q6 as q square, and now then it will become 8q square whole cube. So it is actually 512 q6. So now we have converted into the form of a cube minus b cube, and now we can use the identity here is a minus b, that is p square minus 8q square a minus b into a square, that is p square whole square. So it will become p4 plus ab, that is 8 p square q square and plus b square. So that is 8q square whole square, 64q4. So now this we have converted actually into the form of, now we have done the factorization of this by converting it in the form of aq minus bq. So in this way we need to do the factorization of the two terms which are actually in the form of aq plus bq or aq minus bq. Now we'll see some more example. A raised to the power 7 plus a into b raised to the power 6. Now if you can see here, this actually is not in the form of aq plus bq or aq minus bq. So we need to do first we need to convert it into the that form and then we can do the factorization. So if you see here, a raised to the power 7 plus ab into ab raised to the power 6. So if you take a common from here, it will become a6 plus b6. So now if you can see here, a6 plus b6. So now, and now we can write it actually in the form of aq plus bq. So it will become a square whole cube plus b square whole cube. So this will be equal to a into a cube. Now it's actually in the form of a cube plus b cube. So we can use the identity, that is a plus b, that is a square plus b square into a square. So a square means a square whole square. So it will become a4 minus ab, that is a square b square, and plus b square means whole square of b. So b square. So it will become b4. So this completes the factorization of this term. So in this way we need to understand like in which form we need to convert it accordingly so that we can do the factorization. So we'll see one more example based on this, that is 27a cube plus 1 by 64b cube plus 27a square upon 4b plus 9a upon 16b square. So accordingly we need to do the factorization of this. So what we can do is, if you see the first term, that is 27a cube, it's actually in the form of it's actually the perfect cube of 3a. And if you see the second term, that is 1 by 64b cube, it's actually the perfect cube of 1 by 4b. So now what we can do is, as first two terms are in the form perfect cube, so we need to understand about the last two terms. So if you see the last two terms, so we can write these last two terms is actually in the form of perfect cube to make it to use the identity here so that we can do the factorization. So if we can write 27a cube as 3a whole cube plus 64 as 4b whole cube plus, and now among these two terms we will take the common term. Common term among these two terms is 9a upon 4b. So the remaining part is 3a plus 1 by 4b. So now if you can see here, it's actually a cube plus b cube plus 3ab into a plus b. So this actually is the identity of a cube plus b cube. Sorry, it's actually the identity of a plus b whole cube, because a plus b whole cube is a cube plus b cube plus 3ab into a plus b. If you remember the identity, that is a plus b whole cube, it's actually a cube plus b cube plus 3ab into a plus b. And this question we have converted actually in the form of this a cube plus b cube plus 3ab into a plus b, because if we consider this 3 as the a, so it will become a cube plus 1 by 4b will become b cube plus 3ab into a plus b plus 3ab means, so if we take 3 common from this 9, it will become 3a upon 4b. So it's actually in the form of 3ab. So that's why we can write this whole term as 3a plus 1 by 4b whole cube. And if you open it, we get the same result as the question. So accordingly, sometimes we need to use these identities also. and most importantly, we need to understand which identity to be used where. So accordingly, we can convert it into that proper form, and then we will do the factorization. Now we'll see one more example based on this. So first write down the question. That is a cube plus 3 a square b plus 3 ab square plus b cube minus 8. So now for doing the factorization of this term, if you see, if you properly visualize this question, this first four terms will actually in the form of a cube plus b cube plus 3ab into a plus b minus 8. So if you see here, that is a cube plus b cube plus 3ab into a plus b is actually in the form of a plus b whole cube minus 8, that is 2 cube. So now this this we are converted actually in the form of a cube minus b cube. So it will become a minus b, that is a plus b minus 2 a minus b into a square. So a square means a plus b whole square. So it will become a square plus b square plus 2ab a square plus b square. B square means 2 square. So it will become 4 and plus ab. So plus ab means plus 2a plus 2b. So in this way we have done the factorization. So here we have used two identities. One identity we have used is a plus b whole cube. Another one we have used is a cube minus b cube. So sometimes we need to do this thing also, that we can use the multiple identities in a single question to do the factorization. So this is the another method of doing the factorization. In the same way, we'll see one more example based on this. So that is a cube minus b cube plus 1 plus 3ab. So if you observe this, it actually, if you see, we cannot use identity here as a cube minus b cube, because if you use identity a cube minus b cube by looking after the first two terms, it will not solve our purpose. So for this, what we need to do here is, if you observe here, we have studied one identity, that identity was a cube plus b cube plus c cube minus 3abc is equal to a plus b plus c into a square plus b square plus c square minus ab minus bc minus ca. So we can use this identity here as, if you see here, first term is a cube, second term is minus b cube. So if we can take it as plus here, so we can write it as minus b whole cube, and third term is 1 cube, that is c cube plus minus 3abc. So if we can use minus here, minus 3 into a, and instead of b you can use minus b, because the second term is minus b not plus b, and into 1, that is c is 1. So it's actually in the form of a cube plus b cube plus c cube minus 3abc. So accordingly we can use here as a plus b plus c, that is a minus b plus 1, that is a plus b plus c, into a square plus b square plus c square, that is 1, minus ab. So minus ab means minus a into minus b. So it will become plus ab minus bc. So minus bc means b is our here b is minus b. So minus b into 1, so it will become minus b, and minus already there, so it will become plus b. So a square plus b square plus 1. So instead of minus ab it will become plus ab. Instead of minus bc it will become plus b, and minus ca. Minus ca means minus a into 1. So it will become minus a. So in this way we have done the factorization here. This is the method of doing the factorization. So we can use any identity, but it is very important to understand which identity to be used where. So accordingly we can solve the question properly. In the same way, we'll see one more question based on this. That is x minus y whole cube plus y minus z whole cube plus z minus x whole cube. So in this question, if you see here, it's actually already in the form of a minus b whole cube. So if you use the identity a minus b whole cube, this question is solution of this question will become very large, and it will become very complicated. So instead of doing this, we whatever identity we have used, will actually visualize those identity, and accordingly we'll see which identity to be used here. So, so the identity which we discussed in the last question was AQ plus BQ plus CQ minus 3ABC is equal to A plus B plus C into A square plus B square plus C square minus AB minus BC minus CA. This is the identity we have discussed in the last question. In this question, we use the special case of this that identity, and according to the special case of that identity, what we have studied in the special case was, in the special case, if we have studied that if A plus B plus C is equal to 0, so this A cube plus B cube plus C cube will be equal to 3ABC. So if you see here, what we can see here is, if we consider this x minus y as A, y minus z as B, and z minus x as C, and we add all this string, that is x minus y, that is plus y minus z plus z minus x, we will get the sum as 0. It means A plus B plus C is equal to 0. As A plus B plus C is equal to 0, so A cube plus B cube plus C cube is equal to 3ABC. So it means x minus y whole cube plus y minus z whole cube plus z minus x whole cube is equal to 3ABC, that is 3 into A is x minus y, B is y minus z, and C is z minus x. So that is equal to 3ABC. So in this way we can do the factorization. But instead of this, if we use the identity that is A minus B whole cube, we get the same answer, but solution will be very large and very complicated. So instead of that thing, whatever thing we have studied, we actually have to visualize those things, and accordingly we need to solve the question based on that identities. So this is the way of doing the question or doing the factorization by using the identities. So we'll see some more example based on this. First we'll write down the question is, in this question what we need to do is, we actually have to find the value of x cube minus 8y cube minus 36xy minus 216 when it is given when x is equal to 2y plus 6. So in this question we need to find out the value of this expression when x is equal to 2y plus 6 is given. So what we can do is, first we'll visualize this question properly, and accordingly we'll see that whether we can use some identity here or not. Because if you directly keep the value of x is equal to 2y plus 6, this question will be very complicated and large. So instead of that, we'll first understand what we can do with this question is, so if you can see, in the first term is x cube, that is a cube, plus second term is minus 8y cube, so we can write it as minus 2y whole cube, so it will become plus b cube, and accordingly in the same way 216 is actually the cube of 6, so we can write it as minus 6 whole cube, so it will become c cube. And accordingly, if we visualize the same identity, that is a cube plus b cube plus c cube minus 3abc, so in this case the minus 3abc will become minus 3 into a is our x, b is our minus 2y, and c is our minus 6. So if you multiply all this term, we'll get minus 36xy. So this question is actually in the form of a cube plus b cube plus c cube minus 3abc, and we have to convert the question in that form actually. So most importantly, we have to visualize this thing. Then only we will be able to convert it into the form of a cube plus b cube plus c cube minus 3abc. So accordingly, this will be equal to a plus b plus c into a square plus b square plus c square minus ab minus bc minus ca. So we can use directly that thing here. But if you can observe this question again properly, that it is given that x is equal to 2y plus 6. And if we now if we check the special case of the same identity, special case was a plus b plus c is equal to 0. That was the special case. So accordingly, if we have taken a as here x, and instead of x we can keep 2y plus 6. B here we have taken as minus 2y, and c here we have taken as minus 6. So if we can add this thing, we'll get 0. It means we can use the special case of that identity here. That is, if a plus b plus c is equal to 0, it means that a cube plus b cube plus c cube minus 3abc will be equal to 0. So value of this expression is actually equal to 0 because a plus b plus c is 0. It means our RHS part of the same identity will be equal to 0. If RHS is equal to 0, it means the value of this expression will again be equal to 0. So in this way, we need to understand which identity to be used where, and accordingly we can solve the question based on the identities. And most importantly, the special case we have studied of the identity, that is AQ plus BQ plus CQ minus 3 ABC. We have to remember that special case because it's very easy for because it makes the question very easy for us to solve and accordingly get the right answer very quickly.